Hello everyone, Master Screed here. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I've been absent for a couple of months, and the reason is there's been a national chess tournament that happened, let's say, approximately a week ago. And the tournament, the Tanzanian 2026 National Chess Tournament, was held in order to choose 10 competitors in total, 5 men and 5 women, who will then go on to represent Tanzania in the upcoming 2026 Chess Olympiad World Cup in Uzbekistan. Now, you'll be happy to know, with a lot of preparation, I managed to come third place in that team. So I will be attending the 2026 Chess Olympiad for Team Tanzania. Now, that being said, let's get back to the point of this video. I wanted to illustrate in this game that, especially even against strong players, you can win very simply by basic plans and basic strategies. And sometimes winning ideas are not that complicated. So in this game, the main idea that won the game is simply having and maintaining a bishop pair and, let's say, tricking or forcing your opponent into giving up their bishop. And you're going to see, hopefully I can demonstrate that this is a huge advantage, especially in open games where there's a lot of space, and finally into the endgame. So let's get started. We have e4 on the board, e5, knight f3. So far, all basic moves. And we have a 4-knight setup. And after d4, my opponent chose d6. So I've memorized most of the lines for the 4 knights. And this line especially was one of the recent ones that I memorized. So bishop b4, sorry, bishop b5 here is the best move. And the plan is, if he falls asleep, you go after the knight. Let's say he goes a6. Then you take, he takes back. Then afterwards, you would take. Now, obviously, he's a 2000, so very strong opponent. We took back. And now this is the key part. We take the knight on c6. And after he recaptures, we don't take the bishop. So the whole plan of this is we have to maintain the bishop pair. We have to keep these bishops on the board. And you're going to see how later on in the game, this really helped us win in the endgame. So bishop e7, castles, bishop e3, just developing. We're not worried about knight to g4, hitting our bishop, because we take his light squared bishop. Notice is not on the c8 to h3 diagonal, so we're not really worried about that. He goes h6, so just a waiting move. We go queen f3. He goes queen d7. And we just bring in one of our rooks into the middle, just extracting the queen. Nothing crazy right now. And here he plays a move that I was expecting. He forces a queen trade. Now,
something went wrong. Please try again.
My phone seems to think I'm talking to it. Anyway, so here he forces a queen trade. And the reason why he's trying to do this is because in recent games, and keep in mind that my opponent is Shedrack, and Shedrack was in the previous Chess Olympiad team for Tanzania. So he's a very, very strong opponent. Now, in most other games I played him, he usually outplays me in the endgame. So immediately he tried to get into an endgame in this game. And I want to show you how I outplayed him. So I accepted the trade. Obviously, it's the only move because everything else is quite weakening. He takes, now hitting our bishop. So we just move our bishop to a safe square, bishop f4. And now this is the key part. So knight d5 does a couple of things. It threatens to win one of the bishops and entices him to take on b2. Now, why would this be bad? This would be bad because this would allow a fork on the king, and then we'd win a bishop pair anyway. And that's precisely what happened. He took the bait, we check, and we take the bishop. And you might say, okay, black seems to be okay. Well, if you look at the position and you take a much closer examination, you'll see that it's quite open. It's not really a close position. And such are most e4, e5 openings and 4-knight setups. Now, that being said, this favors the side with the bishop pair. And let's fast forward a couple of moves. So we chase the knight away. He then threatens to win one of our bishops. We just move it back, no problem. And the knight can't really do anything. Bishop c3, I guess, is trying to gain some space. We bring back our bishop to e3, better placement. Kick away the knight with f4. The knight goes back. Bishop c4. We can see that the knight is planning to go on to b4 to attack a2. And our bishop will be much more better placed on this diagonal. So bishop c4 makes perfect sense. He goes after the pawn. And here, notice that the knight is forking 2 pawns. It's forking the pawn on a2 and the pawn on c2. So unfortunately, we can't play bishop b3 because there's c4, and that kind of deflects, and he wins the pawn anyway on c2, uh, if that makes sense. So instead, we lift our rook, and the rook will very easily cover that line without getting into any traps. a3 to kick the knight away after a5, and we slowly improve our position. And you can see gradually our pieces are now dominating the board. Rook b1 check, he moves. Now, I want to fast forward to this position here. So we go for a rook trade. He takes, and we take the pawn on d6. He takes back. And now we must capture this bishop. We get rid of this bishop, and the endgame is basically ours. He's not winning this endgame. We take back. Now, we then launch our pawns. So we have all the space. We now have to create even more spaces by stimulating or, okay, because stimulating was the wrong word, initiating trades or forcing trades. So one move I want to explain here. He attacks our pawn. We don't want him to take, obviously. That gives him a passer. Sorry, that gives him a passer. So what we do is we just advance. And he made a huge mistake here. We have control of all the light squares. And the fact that he gave us this advantage is what won the game. He plays rook f6, block, and now the rook is trapped. Nowhere, the rook can't really go anywhere. And by the way, if you look at the king, completely trapped. So rook e3 wins the game on the spot. And that's exactly what happened. He moves his knight back, rook e3, and he just played a couple of moves just to sort of troll. And he resigned in this position. So you can see very, very clearly that you can win games just by basic plans. You don't need crazy tactics every single game. There are games that will demand that, but not every single time. And lastly, I just wanted to check accuracy, according to Chesses, was 95%. And any moves in particular that we have to look over, no, everything was basically fine in the opening. Computer says this is a mistake, but again, don't always have to rely on the engine. I don't see anything wrong with bishop d3, so I don't know why the computer will say that's a mistake. Castles. Yeah, I guess very straightforward game. Nothing really crazy to look over that we missed. And I think that's it. Let's just fast forward. Yeah, there's nothing really crazy to review in this game. He made the mistake of trading, and we can see now it's literally all white. And after this, yeah, it's all white. So nothing really to look over here. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.